I am working as a maid, and these are some of the scariest things that I have witnessed at the house where I am staying, and I need your advice. Brother Nashi, how are you? My brother, I beg you, keep my identity completely hidden if you decide to post this on your channel. You can just narrate my story yourself on YouTube using your own voice because I don't want my voice out there. You never know who might be listening. My real name is called Miriam, but my surname I can't share with you for my own safety. I've been trying to get hold of you for almost 6 months now, ever since this terrifying incident happened to me. I tried your WhatsApp repeatedly, but I could not reach you. Then I saw that my messages on Facebook are going through. Then I decided and I said, let me write to you here. I am a new subscriber and I've been following you. I need your advice, Brother Nashi, because what I am about to share with you, it is something that is really scary for me. To understand how I ended up being here working as a maid, let me take you back where it all started when I was still working in South Africa. A few years ago, I was living in Cape Town. I went to Cape Town because of Facebook dating. I met this Zimbabwean guy who was working in a restaurant over there. When we were talking, he sounded like he was genuinely in love with me. For me, it felt like it was true love at first sight because I just wanted to be with a man who would appreciate me. He told me straight out that he wanted a Zimbabwean wife to settle down with. He confessed to me, but it was a lie. He was already married to this South African woman. When I heard about this South African woman, he painted like a very dark picture about that lady, like someone that is really heartless. He said that this South African woman and him, they had a child together, but things were not working out for them. I asked him why. He said to me, Miriam, you don't know how it is in South Africa. Here in their culture, in South African culture, the mother is the one that is the owner of the child. If I had known that this is their culture, I was not going to have a child with him, because whenever I want to return back to Zim, she says to me, I'm not going to allow you to take my child with you to Zim. When he said that, I felt so sorry for him because he was sacrificing this woman like she's a heartless person, yet he was the one that was just the cheating type. I felt sorry for him and I fell in love too much too fast, thinking that he was a heartbroken father who just wanted to be with a woman that would give him kids that he could name on his own. I was so foolish, Brother Nashim. I fell for his lie of a story completely. He then sent for me a bus ticket. I then traveled from my country and I went to Cape Town, moved in with him. Once I arrived, this man then he started to play dirty games. He would wake up in the morning and lie to me that he was going to do some extra piece jobs at another restaurant. Meanwhile, he would go to the township location where that South African was living. I had no idea. I would wait for my husband to come like a beautiful wife waiting for him to come back home. But now he was seeing himself as a person that had two wives, one from Zim, his country, and one who was a South African. I was completely shocked. And to make matters worse, Brother Nashi, this South African woman, she found out about me. She came and she was angry. She wanted to beat me up. And when my husband, our husband came, you know what he did? He pretended as if he did not even know me. He pretended as if I was someone that had just went into his room without even his knowledge. I was heartbroken when I saw that this is what he had decided to do, to pretend as if I did not even exist. That was really painful. Brother Nashim, there was another woman who was staying in that very same area. She then found out that this was what had happened. That lady wanted to beat me up and she asked for her to forgive me, and then she took me in and I started to stay with that woman. This lady, she then taught me how to find a job and I started working as a waitress in Cape Town. I worked in that restaurant for a couple of years. Eventually, I got completely burned out. Being an undocumented foreigner in a country like South Africa, I discovered one thing. There was a guy that I started to date, and this guy, when I told him that if he could go back to university, he could become something in his life, and he followed my instructions, I would assist him. And then eventually he got a job, he started driving a car, and I was at that same exact spot where I was. He then got married to another woman who was a South African, well educated, leaving me behind. I then discovered that when you are in a foreign country, when you do not have any form of documentation, the system, it leaves you behind. Those that used to be your friends, if they are local South Africans and you are a Zimbabwean, you watch them grow, you watch them write matric, pass, go to university, and then they come back, they start working. But as for you, you are at that same spot where you used to be. If you were a maid, they go to university, they come back, they find you, you are just working as a maid. Nothing is developing in your life. So I then said that it is far much better for me to return back home. Let me go back to my country where I am recognized by the system. I might be poor, but it is better to be poor in your own country. You might push life until you can have something. I was afraid of the police at all the times, always traumatized when I would see a police van just regularly, randomly driving around without any problems with anyone. I will feel so much fear. The fear that I would feel knowing that once you are arrested, you are going to bed hungry when you are taken back to Zim. I did not leave South Africa as a rich woman. I saved some money, and then when I came back to Zim, there was a lady who then taught me. She was already involved in cross-border buying and selling. She would travel with me to Botswana, where we would buy baby wear, bring it to Zim, and sell it for a decent profit. During our trip to Botswana, I was complaining. She was like to me, "You're always complaining. I don't know why you're always complaining. At least you are doing something. You used to complain saying that you were in South Africa. Now you are back in Zim. Still, you are still complaining." So I was like, "My sister, I am tired of always doing this cross-border business. If I can just get a job, even as a maid, it is far much better." One afternoon, this was after a long time, after we had discussed that issue, she then called me and then she said, Miriam, do you still want that job as a maid? There is this other couple. They are a wealthy Zimbabwean couple. They've been living in America for over 20 something years. So they have recently bought a house, a 3-bedroom house here in Harare. They want someone that is trustworthy, who can work as a maid, as their caretaker. Are you willing to work for them? The pay is good. Brother Nashi, I said, let me talk to them. The interview was done, and then that was when I started to stay at their 3-bedroom mansion where I am currently staying. When you drive into this estate, you see those houses that are in Cape Town, where the richest of the richest in South Africa stay. That is the place that I am staying in right now here in Zim. You can't even believe that you are still in Zim. It's like you are in another country, like in Europe or America. It is so expensive. Even the houses, you can see that these houses, they are worth millions and millions. This place where I am staying, there are no spaza shops, no tuck shop. No one is allowed to randomly walk around the complex, and it is a big estate. You can't just enter the gate. The security is tight. Every visitor must be pre-registered before they come and visit. Maybe a week you notify that I have a visitor that is going to come. Then you are supposed to give them certified copies of their ID, and no one is allowed by the main boom gate just coming and saying that you want to visit someone that is your relative inside. It is not allowed. So the problem that started to happen is that whenever I would bring in a boyfriend of mine, then my bosses that are in America, when they would find out about this, they will get so angry, not knowing why they were angry. So my bosses, finally, they returned from the United States. They stayed with me. It was a nice time for a couple of weeks. Only for a few days, everything was fine. The husband, the wife, and their 2 kids, they are very nice. They are very rich. One afternoon, I had gone to the shopping center to buy some groceries. When I returned back to the house, I then was shocked to see that my Bible It was on the kitchen counter. The husband had gone into my spare room and touched my private stuff and removed my Bible that I bought when I was still in South Africa. I bought it from another woman that I was worshiping with at the same church. She sold me off a New King James Version Bible. So I had it in my room, but they entered into my room without even informing me. And then they took that Bible. When I walked into the house, then my boss said, Miriam, why are you reading this type of a Bible? Don't you know that it is a demonic Bible? Any King James Version Bible, it is demonic, it is fake, you are deceiving yourself. Brother Nashi, I'm not like a very strong Christian. I don't know much about theology, but a Bible is not supposed to be said a fake Bible, for I believe that it is still the word of God inspired by the Holy Spirit. The way that he started to criticize my church, because I go to these new churches, the Papa churches, he said that I am attending a fake church and they prefer that I go to a Roman Catholic church. What I started to discover was that they do not like it when I fast and when I pray. They hate it. They say that I'm not supposed to fast. I'm not supposed to pray. When I do not pray, they can give me money. They can be happy that I am their maid. So I stopped praying and I stopped fasting in front of them, because what they would do is that when I try to fast, then they would give me some food and they would say, sit here, and they would want to watch me as I would be fasting. Before they returned back to America, they brought me to the back of the house and they showed me this other tree. It is still very small. They say that I'm supposed to water it 3 times every single day, morning, afternoon, and evening. I have to do it, to give it 6 liters of water. So when they were gone, when they returned back to America, I did as they had instructed me to do. I did this for about 7 months or so. One day I got bored. I was just busy on the internet, browsing social media. I got lazy and I totally forgot to water that tree at the back of the house. Later in the evening, I felt lazy to cook. I took the car that they recently gave to me and they helped me to get a driver's license so that I can do some errands. I then went to a fast food drive-through and I bought myself some chips, chicken nuggets, and a burger, and I drove back to the estate. I walked into my bedroom and I was just watching some stuff on the laptop. So then the electricity was gone. So they have a solar system. I waited for the solar system to kick in so that it can power on the lights again. I counted, but nothing happened. That was when I took the phone and I switched on the flashlight. What I saw inside my bedroom, there was a dead person that was looking at me. This person, he was dressed in a long, heavy jacket. Inside the jacket, he was wearing a white formal shirt, but from the waist going down, he had nothing. I could see his private parts, and I saw that he was wearing black formal shoes. This person, it was as if there was a blanket that was covering his face. He did not want to be seen, and he just disappeared, and the electricity came back. I was so paralyzed, brother. I tried to wake up throughout the night. I could not do anything. I wanted to call my mom. It was as if there was sleep paralysis that was affecting me. The next day, I woke up, I rushed to the car, drove, I left everything, and I returned back to the rural areas where my mom is. When I arrived, Brother Nash, before I could even tell my mom what had happened, me seeing a dead person in my room, then I started to feel dizzy and I had a bad headache and I had painful blisters all over my lips, just like what happens when you have a terrible headache. That is what was happening to me. And I started to get so sick, like I had malaria. I was vomiting and suddenly I could not talk. I could not do anything. I could not even go to the toilet on my own. I would poop and urinate where I was. So I was sleeping like 24 hours a day. My mom was always crying, thinking that her daughter was about to die. And I had no Wi-Fi. I had no data. I had nothing. I could not reach my bosses to tell them why I had came back to the village. I was really sick. But when I was about to die, that was when a car showed up in front of our house, and these people, they said that they had been sent by my boss, those that were in America, and they had been sent to pray for me. It was a man and a woman. I can't mention the name of their church for safety reasons. They came and they said that they had been given authority by my bosses to pray for me for a miracle. And then they instructed my mother and my relatives that were there to leave me with them, because this was supposed to be a secret violent prayer that they wanted to do. So they all went outside, and those people, they started to pray for me. But the strange thing that happened, Brother Nashim, was that I was like wearing a t-shirt dress, and those people, when they started to pray for me, the woman came and she was kneeling right next to me. She touched my head, and then she moved her hands until they were inside of my t-shirt dress, undressing me. And then she placed her hands on top of my breast, the other on the right breast, the other on the left breast. And she started to play with my breast as if she was making love to me, praying. As she was praying, I felt like something that hit me like electricity on my back. All of a sudden, I sat up and I started to vomit. I vomited things that were so disgusting. I was even vomiting through my nose. And from there on, I felt a little bit better. My mother, who was outside, she was surprised that I was now okay. I could stand up even though I was still a little bit weak. Those people, they requested that they wanted me to cook something for them. So I cooked pap, and I cooked pap with sour milk, and I gave to those people to eat. And then they went back after they had given me some money so that I can put petrol in the car. I am back right now, Brother Nashi. I am back at the estate. And when I came back with my sister. But then the people that I work for, they started to ask me every day. They were like, when is your sister returning back to the village? When is she going back? So then I gave my little sister money and she went back to the village. This is where I am right now, Brother Nashi. I'm still working. If I go to sleep without praying, I don't see any ghost. I sleep peacefully like a baby. The moment that I decide that I want to open my Bible and read, the nightmares, the demons that will attack me throughout the night, you do not even know. The situation in Zim right now, the economy, it is very bad. Once I lose this job, I will never ever get another job that is as paying as this job is paying me right now. So I need honest advice from your listeners. How am I going to survive this? Should I continue working for these people, or I just need to find another place where I can just survive just for now? I'll be following through in the comment section. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear sister, hoping that you were able to understand this translation. Let us speak with him in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.